Georgian-style interior design. These four words evoke a world of mathematical symmetry and classical proportions, a world where the chaotic energy of the outside world is distilled into a sequence of perfectly balanced moments. When we speak of the Georgian era, we are speaking of a legacy of grace, of dental moldings that catch the soft morning light and dado rails that ground a room with an effortless sense of permanence. You might feel that such an architectural grandeur is reserved only for the sprawling estates of history, yet the secret of the Georgian mind was not found in the size of the hall, but in the precision of the logic. Today, we're embarking on a journey to translate this timeless elegance into the living context of the modern home. We will explore how to weave the sophisticated hues of Wedgwood blue and soft ochre into the fabric of an urban apartment, achieving a sense of airy grandeur without the need for permanent structural change or the weight of an unattainable budget. By the end of our time together, you will understand how to manipulate light and scale to turn a standard room into a sanctuary of order and beauty. Welcome to this quiet exploration of space and history. I am so glad you have found your way here. If you find peace in these reflections, I invite you to subscribe and join our community of thoughtful curators. Let us begin our descent into the quiet, rhythmic beauty of the Georgian home. The soul of symmetry. The Georgian interior is a temple to the concept of the mirror. In a world that often feels fragmented, there is a profound psychological relief in a space where every object has its companion, its silent partner in the dance of proportion. Within the standard dimensions of a modern living room, we achieve this sense of order not through grand architectural shifts, but through the deliberate placement of the everyday. Imagine a central anchor point, perhaps a fireplace or a large central window, and from this point, we begin to build our world outward in equal measure. Two matching side tables, their surfaces finished in a gentle walnut veneer, stand as sentinels on either side of a soft linen blend sofa. Upon them, twin table lamps with pleated silk shades cast a warm, identical glow, creating a visual harmony that tells the mind it is safe to rest. This is the dual lens filter applied to the urban apartment, where we use the scale of furniture to fit through standard doorways while maintaining the mathematical integrity of a historic manor. By centering our arrangements, we expand the perceived boundaries of the room, making a 12 by 15-foot envelope feel like a curated gallery of intentionality. The muted spectrum of the Enlightenment. The colors of the Georgian era are not merely pigments, they are the atmospheres of the natural world brought indoors to soften the edges of urban life. We look to the sophisticated, muted shades that defined the 18th century, the cool, intellectual depth of Wedgwood blue, the organic tranquility of sage green, and the grounding warmth of stone gray. In a small space, these colors serve a dual purpose. They provide a rich historical character while maintaining a low visual noise that makes a room feel expansive and airy. Within our pragmatic reality, we achieve this palette through the use of high-quality, breathable mineral paints, or even sophisticated peel and stick murals that mimic the traditional matte finish of lime wash. When these tones are paired with crisp white woodwork, the contrast creates a sharp architectural definition that guides the eye upward toward the ceiling. The light interacts with these surfaces in a tactile narrative where soft morning haze turns a sage wall into a velvet-like expanse, and the harsh contrast of a noon sun is tempered by the depth of a stone-gray corner. The architectural illusion. In a space where the ceilings sit at a standard 8 or 9 feet, we must create the illusion of height and history using the tools of the universal designer. The Georgian era was defined by its verticality, expressed through dentil moldings and the presence of the dado rail. We can introduce these elements without the need for demolition or permanent construction. Imagine the application of lightweight, pre-primed polyurethane moldings secured with simple tension or removable adhesive strips. By installing a dado rail at roughly 1/3 the height of the wall, we create a zoned living effect that grounds the room and provides a framework for color play. Below the rail, a soft ochre might provide a sense of weight, while above, a lighter stone gray allows the wall to recede into the distance. The dentil molding, with its rhythmic, tooth-like blocks, adds a layer of visual complexity to the junction where the wall meets the ceiling, drawing the eye upward and giving a modest room the dignified, cocoon-like intimacy of a much older structure. The weight of walnut and mahogany. Furniture in a Georgian-inspired home is the punctuation that completes the sentence of the room. We look to the silhouettes of Chippendale and Hepplewhite, characterized by their dark, rich woods and the iconic, graceful curve of the cabriole leg. In our pragmatic approach, we prioritize middle-class, achievable materials, furniture crafted from walnut veneers or high-quality mahogany-stained birch that offers the same visual weight without the burden of an antique's price or fragility. These pieces, with their slender frames and elevated legs, allow light to flow underneath them, preventing the floor plan from feeling cluttered or heavy. The tactile narrative here is one of contrast, the cold, smooth grain of the wood against the softness of a boucle chair or the heavy drape of a velvet cushion. Each piece is chosen for its roadworthiness in the sense of durability and scale, ensuring that even a statement desk or a slender sideboard fits naturally within the flow of a contemporary apartment path, serving as a functional anchor that carries the soul of the Enlightenment. Textiles of substantial grace. The Georgian home is as much a tactile experience as it is a visual one, defined by the heavy, reassuring weight of textiles that soften the mathematical precision of the room. To achieve this sensory immersion in a contemporary setting, we turn to the traditional luxury of damask and the deep, light-absorbing depths of velvet. Within the pragmatic constraints of an urban apartment, these materials provide both beauty and a functional, cocoon-like intimacy. Consider the window as a stage for texture. Instead of lightweight blinds, we introduce floor-to-ceiling drapes in a rich forest green or a muted ochre velvet. By utilizing high-quality linen blends or synthetic velvets, we remain within a middle-class, achievable budget while providing the room with thermal insulation and a sense of quiet grandeur. Following the tenant filter, these heavy drapes can be hung on sturdy, matte black tension rods or command-mounted hardware, ensuring your security deposit remains intact while your space is transformed into a sanctuary of softness. The tactile narrative of the room is completed by the smoothness of the dark wood furniture against the intricate, raised patterns of a damask-upholstered armchair, creating a dialogue between the hard and the soft that is the hallmark of a refined interior. The luminous reflection. In a Georgian-inspired space, light is the most precious of materials, and the gilt mirror is its primary conductor. Historically used to maximize the flicker of candlelight, large mirrors today serve as essential tools for expanding the perceived square footage of a compact 12 by 15-foot room. We look for mirrors that echo the classical proportions of the era, tall, rectangular forms, topped with subtle carvings or gold leaf finishes. To adhere to the logic of security deposit safety, we avoid the need for permanent drilling by selecting oversized resin-framed mirrors that can safely lean against the wall, serving as a vertical anchor that reflects both natural light and the carefully curated interior. This creates a visual depth that allows the eye to travel through the glass, making the walls feel less like boundaries and more like portals to a larger, more airy world. As the dappled sunlight filters through the windows, it hits the gilt surface, scattering a soft morning haze across the sage-green walls and highlighting the grain of the walnut furniture, ensuring the visual experience has a professional, multi-layered pop. The crystalline glow. The transition from day to evening in a Georgian home is a deliberate shift in atmosphere, achieved through the atmospheric layering of light sources. Central to this transformation is the presence of a crystalline focal point. While a traditional crystal chandelier might seem out of reach for a standard 9-foot ceiling, we apply the scale filter to find replicas that are compact yet ornate. These fixtures, often available as plug-in versions that require no structural rewiring, allow the modern tenant to achieve a high-end aesthetic without permanent modification. The key is in the quality of the light. We favor warm-toned LED bulbs that mimic the soft yellow flicker of a candle, casting intricate shadows that emphasize the texture of the dentil moldings and the weave of the rugs. We complement this central glow with recessed puck lights or under-cabinet LED ribbons hidden within bookshelves to highlight vertical curations. This layering ensures that every corner of the room is touched by a soft, futuristic glow that feels both historic and modern, providing a rhythmic, meditative light that guides the inhabitant through the evening hours. Vertical curation and classical order. In the universal pragmatic designer's toolkit, the walls are not merely partitions, but canvases for vertical curation. This strategy is particularly effective for those who lean toward a maximalist expression, but must keep the floor clear for movement in a small footprint. We approach the wall with the same mathematical symmetry that governs the furniture, creating gallery arrangements that feel orderly rather than cluttered. Imagine a collection of botanical prints or classical architectural sketches, all housed in uniform, thin-profile gold frames to maintain a low visual noise. By arranging these pieces in a strict grid or a perfectly balanced triptych, we honor the Georgian sense of proportion while adding a layer of personal character to the space. This method allows the inhabitant to express a rich, historical narrative without overwhelming the room's standard dimensions. The result is a space that feels curated and expansive, where the eye is drawn upward and outward, following a path of intentional beauty that respects the architectural reality of the home. The grounded foundation. To complete the transformation of a modern apartment into a Georgian-inspired sanctuary, we must turn our attention to the surface beneath our feet. In the puzzle box living of a compact home, the floor is the stage upon which all other elements perform. We use the spatial logic of zoned living, employing low-pile rugs to create rooms within a room without the need for physical barriers. For a Georgian aesthetic, we select rugs in a palette of stone gray or soft ochre, featuring subtle classical motifs that ground the furniture in a sense of history. This grounded foundation provides a soft contrast to the smoothness of sanded wood found in our walnut veneer tables. By keeping the pile low, we ensure the rug is middle-class achievable and easy to maintain, while its placement defines the boundaries of our symmetrical arrangements. The result is a space that feels anchored and intentional, where the floor itself contributes to the atmospheric layering of the room's textures. The modern antique. In our journey toward a pragmatic Georgian reality, we find that the most evocative spaces are those that carry a sense of time. We apply the vintage retro logic of character accents, using one or two statement thrifted pieces to anchor the room's personality without cluttering the path. This could be a small, dark mahogany writing desk or a slender Hepplewhite-style chair found in a local market, its cabriole legs providing an authentic touch of the 18th century. These character accents serve as the soul of the space, contrasting beautifully with the low visual noise of our more modern functional furniture. By focusing on just a few high-impact pieces, we remain within a middle-class achievable budget while ensuring the home feels like a curated collection rather than a showroom. This tactile narrative of old meeting new creates a rich, lived-in atmosphere that honors the past while remaining firmly rooted in the present. The atmospheric whole. The final layer of our Georgian narrative is the most ethereal, the atmospheric lighting and sensory guide. We look to the key light of soft morning haze as it interacts with our vertical curations, creating a professional depth and pop in the visual experience. As evening falls, we transition to atmospheric layering, where the warm flicker of a candle is complemented by the cool, futuristic glow of neon accents or under-cabinet LED ribbons hidden within our shelving. This lighting versatility allows the apartment to shift from a bright, intellectual workspace to a cocoon-like evening retreat. We lean into the textural immersion of our environment, the coldness of a metal handle on a dark wood cabinet, the weight of heavy drapes, and the softness of a boucle chair. This sensory symphony ensures that the Georgian style is not just seen, but felt, providing a restorative experience that transcends the limitations of a standard urban footprint. We have traveled through the mathematical heart of the Georgian era, finding that its principles of symmetry and proportion are as relevant today in our urban apartments as they were in the grand halls of the past. By applying the dual-lens pragmatic filter, we have discovered that beauty does not require permanent demolition or unattainable luxury, but rather a thoughtful curation of the living context we already inhabit. We have learned to use zoned living and vertical curation to expand our walls and atmospheric layering to illuminate our days. As you look around your own space, I hope you see the potential for a sanctuary of order and grace, where every object and every shadow tells a story of balance. Thank you for spending this time with me in quiet reflection. May your home always be a place of beauty, peace, and timeless elegance. Until we meet again in our next exploration of the curated life, take care and find joy in the small, perfectly balanced moments.